Can't be happy in Nigeria. A whole lot of people will give you a whole lot of reasons. Anyway, that's a discussion for another day. That was from Asha. Why can't we be happy? We'll continue to be happy here, and that's why we have different segments for you to enjoy. And of course, today is the World Pharmacist Day, and in our usual style, we want to look at this day and what it means, and of course know more about pharmacy and probably about the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. So we have in the house Chairman PSN Ogun State Chapter, that is the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Lawrence Aye Labola. Lawrence, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Fam Lawrence, am I right? That's the way you call it. Fam Lawrence. Okay, Pharmacist Lawrence.
Pharmacist Lawrence.
All right, we also have another pharmacist in the house, Ogunyemi Oluwasei. Pharmacist Ogunyemi, you're welcome to the program as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this theme, Chairman, this theme interests me. Pharmacy always trusted for your health. That is the theme of this year's celebration, World Pharmacist Day, year 2021. Can we really continue to trust pharmacists for our health?
Thank you very much. What I will say is that worldwide, internationally, the WPD is an international program. Every 25th of September is the World Pharmacist Day, and there is always a team to draw attention to what pharmacists does, and also for the citizens, for the community to hear their views about what they expect from the pharmacists. I will say that polls internationally has been done severally, and pharmacists and pharmacy has come up tops of all these polls when it comes to trust by the community. So what we're saying is that the trust that people have always had for us, we appreciate it, and we know it's a great responsibility, and we hold it in high esteem. And even of recent, when the pandemic broke out, the coronavirus broke out, we can all attest to our pharmacists how to come in to salvage the situation in all ramification in the community, even in the research institutes and all that. We had to quickly come in and salvage, and that's why so much people, even when most other health professionals were screening people out of their practice area, pharmacists were welcoming people. So that's why if you see in the UK, immediately even the government made pharmacists, community pharmacists, points of vaccination in those countries. So people will come, how do I boost my immunity? How do we do? So even in Nigeria, that's what we're doing. Yeah, there was no vaccine, there was no main drug, but based on our knowledge, we're able to bring out different drugs that can boost immunity. Combination of drugs. And we encourage people. Several have been here telling people about using this to boost their immunity, that even if the flu comes, it will just go like that.
Okay, let me go to Pharmacist Ogunyemi. So, in Ogun State, what is this celebration about?
Well, thank you very much for that question. Over the years, we know that World Pharmacist Day is the day that we celebrate to showcase the work, the pivotal roles that pharmacists have been playing in healthcare delivery system. We understand that trust is an integral part of any human relationship, and that is why the topic for this, or the theme for this year, is pharmacy, always trusted for your health. In Ogun State and even in Nigeria as a whole and worldwide, is a time to showcase what the pharmacist has been doing in every of their respected specialties, be it in the hospital, be it in the community, be it in the industry, be it in the administrative setting like you have in NAFDAC and the likes. So it's a time to celebrate and appreciate pharmacists for what they have been doing. And of course, it's also another time for pharmacists to also appreciate the people for trusting us. Because over the year, just like my chairman has rightly said, pharmacists has been one of the most trusted professions worldwide. Thank you.
Okay, how do you fish out fake pharmacists?
Okay.
Or you want to say there are no fake pharmacists around?
Yeah, thank you very much. I won't say there are no fake pharmacists. But we have a system in place of catching fakes. Our headache in this part of the world is not really fake pharmacists per se, but fake drugs.
Okay.
Because when you talk of pharmacists, you cannot divulge drugs.
Sure.
When you talk of healthcare, you cannot divulge drugs. So that's why pharmacists are pivotal. If you get to meet someone and the person says he's a pharmacist, you have a right. If you even walk into any drugstore, let me use the word drugstore, because in this part of the country we have pharmacies. We also license some drugstores, patent shops, to handle minor drugs, so that the populace can get access to all these drugs. If you get to a drugstore, the first thing you should ask for, can I see the pharmacist?
Sure.
So once there's no pharmacist there, you should be wary of the kind of service they are going to give you. And that's one good way for the community to get to know a fake pharmacy, a fake pharmacist, a fake pharmacy.
Okay.
So the mere fact that, this third world, so many things goes. Someone can just wake up in the morning and put one signboard.
Are you telling me, Chairman, that you just talked about fake drugs? You can't be sure that even the issue of fake drugs, because pharmacy, I cannot put together drug. It is not mine. I must have a kind of knowledge, and at times anything fake is even put together by those that know about it.
Yeah.
So, does this worry you? Or are you saying it's only fake pharmacists that are involved in fake drugs, or real pharmacists there are bad eggs here and there? It should be. So,
we have different practice areas in pharmacy. Like in industry, even in all the practice settings, you can't work alone as a pharmacist. There are some cadres in pharmacy. We have technicians working with us. We have pharmacy heads working with us. When someone has been working with you for quite a while, he'll be able to, you might not understand the technicalities behind what you are doing, but he knows that when you mix salt and when you mix sugar and garri together and add water, it's something you can drink.
I'm getting you. Okay.
So some people are not qualified pharmacists, but by reason of being within the system, they can do so many things. So with their knowledge and their criminal mind, they can get into their room and just start
like a matron. Because of his experience, you want to think he's a doctor already.
Exactly, he can do surgery because he has. So it's like that. When we have people around us. So when people say, yes, you pharmacists are the one manufacturing fake drugs, I say, you cannot be so sure of that. Cannot be so sure of that, and we cannot work alone. I can't say that I only work with pharmacists. It's not feasible.
Now, my experience has also shown. I'm coming to you, pharmacist Oyeyemi, that yes, he mentioned pharmacy or pharmacy, and of course, patent medicine store. So, I discovered that what is the difference between the two? That is one. I also discovered that even as talking about as looking at a country like Benin Republic, for example, or neighboring countries around us, you find it hard. You find it very difficult to get a patient store. What you will get in those countries that I'm talking about is what we call pharmacy, and you could be rest assured and go to bed when you buy drug there that these are original drugs, because I don't know if I'm right. Even in Nigeria, you are likely to find fake drugs in a patient store than a pharmacy. Am I right?
Yeah.
So why is it now? What is the yardstick? You just mentioned it, but let's know the difference and what we should look out for even when we go to a patient store.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me start by really giving the difference between a pharmacy and patent medicine store. The very first thing is that in a pharmacy, you are expected to have a pharmacist there, and that is the person that superintends and supervises every of the activities that happen in that pharmacy. And apart from that, there are different ranges of medications that you can only trust that it's pharmacists that have that vivid knowledge, so that by the time you know, it's not only about you giving the drugs, you give those drugs, you preserve them, you store them well, you give information about the drugs, you give them the drug-drug interaction, you know, every of all this counseling that you give to your patients, they are there, right there in the pharmacy. But however, there are some remote part of the state or of the country that you know, you don't want to disenfranchise citizens from getting some OTC drugs, and so that is why OTC, I mean over the counter, and that is why you have some patent medicine just to give the basic drug let me say the basic drug type to people, like your painkillers, your multivitamins, all those ones. Those are the things they are licensed to do. But when it comes to drugs like antihypertensives, antidiabetes, you know, all those are terminal diseases that need counseling, that need proper information about them. So you trust them on pharmacies. So those are the major differences among many others.
Chairman, hawking of drugs, are you worried? Or is it, because at times they just do it and you think it's within the ambience of the law. They hawk drugs inside their buses, they hawk so around the streets, some people wake you up with drugs, and they still do it. Yeah. And I'm sure that most of these drugs that are being hawked, if care is not taken, are fake. That's where you can easily buy fake drugs. Am I right? I could be wrong.
Not most of all the drugs are fake. The ones that are not fake, they are expired. That they are hawking. Because we've over time arrested several of them. We've taken the drugs they were hawking to our labs. And before they expire, they are substandard. You say your paracetamol 500 milligram, you get there is 200 that you are seeing there. But like I always say, it is political will.
Political will.
It's political will. PSA is a professional body. We have the Pharmacist Council of Nigeria, that's an agency of the government of the Federation. But the bottom line is having the political will by the government of the day to eradicate these things. If you remember, during the time of Pharmacist Dora Akunili as the minister, the notorious and popular Idumota market was closed down for months. When you say you close down, it's not just using padlock. Mobile policemen were there 24 hours. Nothing goes in, nothing comes out. And they were packing drugs out of the place. That's political will. But after a while, you know, they attempted assassinating her. So that's what we say, political will by the government. You mentioned Republic of Benin there are no patent shops. It's about the government putting it in structure. As a pharmacist, I'm based in Abeokuta. Well, what would motivate me to go to Waterside? No good school for my children. So there must be things put in place by the government to encourage professionals to go to rural areas.
Spread across.
If there are incentives, you tell me there is a tax break. If you tell me because I'm there, I'm entitled to some grants. It's something that is done internationally. Okay, because you are going to a rural area, okay, we'll give you 10 million naira grant to encourage you to relocate, people will move. When these things are not there, people stay back in the cities and leave the rural people to die or at the mercies of merchants of death. So, but the bottom line, thank God for His Excellency, Prince Dr. Dakwa Abiodun. Late last year, I still instituted a task force on fake and counterfeit drugs. The task force is involved in arresting all these hawkers. There's a place for the Pharmacist Council of Nigeria, there's a place for NAFDAC, there's a place for the NDLEA. But when it comes to this hawking of drugs, it is the purview of the state government. And for years, we've not had that kind of committee in place. But this new government has.
Francis Oyemi, what is the effect of fake drugs? Because fake drugs, at times when I hear fake drugs and people are still involved with it, people know it, they chunk it out, they still sell it out. It's like selling poison.
Exactly.
So tell us more.
Well, I love that question. You know, when you say something is fake, is substandard, could have been expired over the months, and don't forget that any drug that is not used well, or that is not standard, or that is not well preserved, you understand, apart from being called fake drugs, they are also poison, just like you have already spelled it out. You know, now the effect majorly is that, you know, when you go for you have gone to the hospital, you have been diagnosed, there's a particular ailment, and so a particular medication has been prescribed for that ailment. And so the prescriber expects you to have that drug in its standard form. That is the only time it can do what you expect it to do. But on the other hand, when you now have fake drugs, apart from being poison, you make sure you find out that the effect, the reason for which the drug was dispensed to you was not met. And at the expense of that, you leave the condition to get deteriorated by the day. You understand? So it's just like you are trying to cure or heal a particular disease, and then you are still having another problem because you have ingested poisons. That on its own is another problem.
Let me ask you this question, Pharmacist Lawrence. Even though I know that you people walk around the clock too, but is it not possible that we could have fake drugs too in government hospitals without you guys knowing? You could just creep into it. Is it not possible? For that not to happen, what do you do?
That your question. I'll not just want to answer it straight like that.
They gave me this drug in the hospital. Look at, we've seen it.
I don't want to answer it straight like that because of our populace. That's one of the reasons why we're having this kind of day.
Okay.
I want to try and adjust the question.
Okay.
In the sense that how can an average Nigerian, how can an average Ogun State citizen be protected from fake drugs?
Okay.
Number one, for you to be sure that you are not getting fake drug, ensure that the drug is gotten from a registered premise.
Okay.
Not the word, registered premise. Whether it's a pharmacy, whether it's a patent shop.
Okay.
If it's a patent shop, you see some patent shop, you just see drug inside, there is no name. When I was coming here, I saw OGTV by the road and I branched in. So why are you hiding? If you are doing the right thing, you will not hide.
They just paint it white.
Right.
Put stuff. You just know that.
You know that place is not registered and all the things they are fake. Just know that. So, because if the place is registered, so many government agencies
We'll check
regularly
in a while.
what's going on, what you have there. So you are protected by that. So the source of your purchase is very important. And that's the same thing that happens in government hospitals.
Okay.
Most government hospitals get their drugs from manufacturers.
Okay, I understand.
So that is why an average Nigerian will tell you that, no, they give me the drug from this hospital, I don't want to go outside because I'm not so sure of what I will get outside. So sometimes when, because I'm an hospital pharmacist, so sometimes when we tell them, we don't have this drug here, maybe go to, let me write it for you, get it out. So you see that disappointment. Now, how am I sure? So that's why I said, let me first talk about how you can protect yourself. Because if I give you a paracetamol now, for example, you don't have all the gadgets, you don't have the know-how to check whether it's fake or not. Until you use it and it doesn't work.
Okay, pharmacist, so what is the situation now in most hospitals as far as, one thing is for government to recommend drugs. One thing is for pharmacists to interpret and say, okay, this can need it. One thing is to have it. It is when you don't have these drugs where they are supposed to be. I mean, the first port of call is the government hospitals or whatever have you, or even hospitals anyway. Once a drug is recommended, you want to go to the pharmacy and you think you just show the prescription, pay and get it. Do we have most of these drugs in our hospitals as we speak?
Well, that question is a little bit dicey. And I trust God will help me to answer that. It's a very dicey question. But the point is this, just like my chairman has rightly said, there are procedures, there are protocol to making sure that all these drugs are made available. You know, in most hospitals, they practice what we call drug revolving fund. And there you expect that the procurements of medications are supposed to be within this drug revolving fund, and pharmacists are supposed to be in charge of that. Do you understand now? So the point is that in many hospitals, of course, you have the drugs. You have the drugs, and for one reason or the other, it's also possible that you don't have that drug. Perhaps there is now the company that is supplying the medication is not available at that present point. And you know, I know that in many hospitals there is something we call LPO, local purchasing order, and you know, in hospital, government hospital, there are procedures. If you want to get a particular medication, say for instance, an amoxicillin clavulanic acid for instance, before you can get, it's not something you will get immediately. It's not something you get immediately. There are procedures. This person needs to sign. This person needs to sign, the finance department needs to sign, the management needs to sign, and because of that, within that short range, it's possible that the hospital runs out of the drug supply. So, and that is why the sure bet at that time is to write the prescription out for patients to get outside. And just like my chairman has rightly said, you are in the position to now look out for the registered pharmacies, where you will be sure that the medication you'll be getting from there will be authentic.
Let me ask this question, Chairman.
Let me chip in something. Just like you said, but I want to say something. I keep hammering on political will.
Okay.
If we can get it right as the country, there are so many things that, so all these headaches will just go naturally. There is DRF, drug revolving fund. I think it was started like 1984 thereabout, but you realize that in most hospitals it is depleted.
Depleted.
How and why? We have 100 million naira, 200 million naira to revolve drugs to ensure that all drug needs of the hospital is met. As the drugs are being sold,
they are being replaced.
They are replaced. But in a situation where the management of the hospitals now take the money to go to Abuja, take the money to go to Switzerland, or when training or the other.
This is the money that shouldn't be touched for no other reasons at all.
The law that established DRF says that the director of pharmacy there should be the signatory to the account. So Let us get it right politically, and all these headaches will just fizzle out.
There's no, how do I put this question now? Well, for a pharmacist to hold a pharmacy or a patient medicine store and still be a government worker as a pharmacist, nothing wrong in it.
There are two things to it. A pharmacist, if you're in a government hospital, you cannot have a private practice. As I'm talking to you, I'm an assistant director in a government hospital, federal government hospital. At the same time, I have private practice, but I'm not the one registering it. I employ other pharmacists. Under my care, I have like 8 pharmacists working with me. I employ them to run the place.
Okay.
See, if I go there, I'm just working there as a locum. I'm not a superintendent pharmacist. That's the beauty of pharmacy.
Okay, as we go, Pharmacist Oyemi, what will be your message to people on this special day, the World Pharmacist Day 2021? Quickly.
Well, World Pharmacist Day, just like I've said earlier, is the time and is the day to commemorate and showcase the pivotal role of pharmacists in healthcare delivery system. And we want to appreciate the citizenry of this country for appreciating us and trusting us over the years, as we also understand that we will continue to be trusted more and more.
Pharmacist Lawrence, Kosinajidan Benny.
This is the new normal.
Okay.
This is the new normal. So as much as possible, we are avoiding people coming together like we used to do. It's more of a.
We still came together when you had your PSN in Adobe. A lot of people came from Nigeria to play drums there and there, and there was a gala night.
So it's more of a social media thing.
Okay.
We're on Facebook videos, interactions on Instagram and all that, and like what we're having. But I just want to say that as we are celebrating your trusted care professional, make sure you buy soda. What did I say? A drink for your pharmacist.
I mean,
So appreciate
give away for your pharmacist.
Appreciate your pharmacist for the wonderful work.
All right, thank you very much. We've been speaking with Lawrence Ayelabola, pharmacist Lawrence Ayelabola, the chairman of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Ogun State chapter, and one of his members, who is also a pharmacist, naturally should be a pharmacist, Pharmacist Ogunyemi Oluwaseyi. I want to thank both of you for coming onto the program.
Thank you
Of
very
course,
much.
they've been here because of today is the World Pharmacist Day for year 2021. And don't forget the theme, pharmacy, always trusted for your health. So make use of all those that you have said. You know fake pretend stores when you see them. Don't let's deceive ourselves. And you know where to get correct drugs and where to get. But some people, I don't know. Health is wealth. You cannot just say that because of the economic situation of the country, you just say this is $5. Sell me all. You get most of these things as fake drugs. So always strive to actually see a pharmacist when it comes to the issue of drug, and never stop now patronizing those who hawk. It is an illegal business, and of course they are criminals. Don't patronize criminals, because there is 95% assurance, according to my pharmacist here, that what you're going to buy from drug hawkers are complete fake drugs. All right, so allow them to go, and we'll take you to the blast from the past, because we must be positive in whatever we do to ourselves, whichever way we want to live our lives. There must be positive vibration. So we'll take you back in time to the music of the good old days. Blast from the past, we call it, and it's coming from Bob Marley, titled Positive Vibration. I'll be back.